Destitute South Africans can begin to apply for the social relief of distress grant from today. The 350 Rand social relief grant will this time around also be available for caregivers. President Cyril Ramaphosa recently announced the reintroduction of the grant amid concerns about the impact of violence and looting on the poorest of the poor. Let's take this discussion further. Then we're joined via Zoom by Paseka Letsatsi, who is the national spokesperson of the South African Social Security Agency. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you so very much for joining us here on SABC News this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Flo, and thanks for having us.
Of course, earlier in the week, we heard Minister Lindiwe Zulu talking about the fact that South Africans can start to reapply for the 350 grant, social relief distress grant. How are those applications going so far? We do understand that there were some glitches in terms of people who were reapplying on the system. Talk to us about that and what's currently then being done to fix that situation.
No, thanks, Flo. I think what happened is because today was the first day of the application, we experienced a high volume of people making applications. The information which we had earlier on today was that there was 2,000 people who have been making an application within a minute, which created a high volume within the system. However, the GovChat came to the rescue to say while our IT department is trying to make sure that the system is stable, the GovChat came to the rescue and said this is another platform which people can use. People can simply download the GovChat app and then go to the messenger and it will prompt them to be able to make the application. But from where we are, we think we also want to inform people that today is not the first day and the last day of an application. People have got until the month end of August to put through the application. But we also understand that people would want to go and make an application on the first day when it's open.
Yeah, let's talk about the vetting process in terms of distinguishing who is eligible for the fund. Given that I'd heard from the CEO of SASSA during that briefing with the minister that there were people who tried to illegally access this particular fund, and obviously now there's going to be sort of stricter measures in terms of the vetting process. Let's talk to that, please.
What we want to do, Flo, is to basically talk to our people and appeal to them that please do not take a chance and make an application when you know that you don't qualify, because we will definitely take the information to the law enforcement agencies and you will be arrested. But what we have been doing basically is to make sure that our system, when you make an application, talks to Home Affairs just to verify indeed that you are a South African, but it also talks to other relevant government departments to ascertain that you are not getting any form of help. Like, for an example, students who are on the NSFAS platform, they will not be able to apply because you are double DP. Yeah. There are those who might have been on the UIF as well, but we are also trying, we are able to check if people are getting any other form of income or not. And I think we just want to appeal to people that if you know that you are not eligible for a grant, do not take a chance because you will be caught.
Yeah. Let's talk about the logistics in terms of distributing the funds. During the unrest, we had heard that several post offices had indeed been affected, had been looted or were burnt, in fact, due to the looting and unrest. How has all of that sort of affected logistics? I had also heard about the fact that people needed to have bank accounts for example, so that might perhaps make the situation a little bit easier. Let's talk about in terms of logistics, how that money will then be handed out.
What do we want to request people who are making an application to do is to basically give us their bank account in case they have. But if you don't have a bank account, obviously we will refer you to a post office. But now what gives us comfort as the South African Social Security Agency is the fact that the South African Post Office, as we speak, is engaging with other merchants so that when the processes of payment starts, you can then be referred to go and pay, to go and get your money somewhere. The intention here, Flo, is to make sure that we do not have long queues at the post office. And hence we are appealing to people that please do not flock to the post office to go get your money, because in any case, the intention is to make sure that we fight the spread of the COVID-19. So you can just imagine if people flock to the post office, no social distancing and so on, it creates problem and it defeats the purpose of what we are trying to do. So if you have your bank account, please give it to us. If you don't have a bank account, the post office, we know before the end of August, they would have interacted or signed an agreement with merchants so that people can then be able to go and get money from those multiple channels of payment.
Yeah, Paseka Letsatsi, I'd heard quite interestingly that 571,724 grants had remained uncollected, and I thought that was quite concerning. And that a lot could have been done with that kind of money instead of just kind of taking it back to the coffers, as we were repeatedly told in that media briefing. I mean, we have thousands of South Africans, in fact, perhaps even more than that, that really do require assistance. And one wonders if there are other ways to perhaps use those uncollected funds to the benefit of those in our society who are, in fact, impoverished. I mean, what will then happen to that money, essentially? I mean, all I heard when reporters were asking about that money was that it goes back to the coffers, and I'm not satisfied with that answer.
We will try everything possible, Flo. They've got until month end of August to come forward and collect their money. The money has been paid. It's there in the account. It's there with the South African Post Office. So those beneficiaries must just go and collect their money. We will try and do some form of education campaign. We'll try to make sure that we go out and publicize the information as widely as possible. We'll try to partner with whatever platform that we have to make sure that those who might have made an application go and get their money. However, there are processes, and we have to also respect the law as the South African Social Security Agency. If people do not necessarily come forward to get their money, we are left with no option but to take it back to National Treasury. We do understand, Flo, your concern, and I think your concern is the concern of the South African Social Security Agency as well. However, we need to follow certain processes to make sure that the money, it's either it gets used properly or it goes back to the National Treasury. We have sent messages, because we've got the numbers of these people. We have sent messages to them requesting them that they must go get their money. They have not been getting their money. We can only make an assumption why they are not doing it, but we are not ending there. We'll do everything to make sure that we upscale our communication plan. Yeah. However, if come month end of August and they have not collected, the law would compel us to take it back to the National Treasury.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking to us and giving us that information. Paseka Letsatsi, National Spokesperson for the South African Social Security Agency. Thank you, sir.